get another. Tryna leave me alone, another. I'm like, baby, I know I'm wrong, but this just how life goes. And I know these be happy if I let you go. Got me walking on a thin line on my tippy toes. Crazy different city with some different. Here we go. I spent the whole M on some clothes. Got up on this, I sold out the show. Gonna like a pot on the stove. Yellow AP on all of my. I like when that wet on the toes. Picture me riding around in that road.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Rams. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and our home team. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Rams team as they interplay. It's been a great start to the season, back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback who grew up just outside of Cleveland on Lake Erie, Mitchell Trubisky.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. And this one is incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Time for a look at the defensive starters now for the Rams. They were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 6'7" quarterback out of Memphis. It's Paxton Lynch.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
first down. It's Lynch. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Lynch. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. A look now at the lineup defensively for Chicago. This unit, they've struggled a little bit against the pass, ranked number 21 in the league.
They'll take that play right there each and every snap because throughout this season, they've given up some big plays. To be able to hold someone to no gain, oh yeah, they'll take that one all game long.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Lynch to throw again. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
Well, they didn't really have to earn that first down, did they?
Well, they're not having to earn much, are they? Back-to-back penalties. First was 1st and 5, and now they give them a first down.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment, defense.
A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get-off on the snap, jump too quickly.
Here's Trubisky to throw. Hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 23 yards on the play. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
And the movement there coming from the middle of the line.
And you understand he wants to get off the ball quickly, but the ball's right in front of him. He has to watch it move first.
On second down, here's Trubisky. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Throwing here, Trubisky. It's caught inside the 25. Oh, and the big play's going to get even bigger as penalty flags are down, and I believe they're going to get a face mask penalty tacked on.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment. Defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
From the shotgun is Trubisky. And he's got it. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Encroachment. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. The ball down at the 1 as they come up after the penalty on another 2nd and goal. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
The ball down at the 1 as they come up after the penalty on another 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, Trubisky. Now Trubisky lost the football, and the Rams have got it back.
We'll give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but it's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. Man open, that's Kiki QT complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the play. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back live now to begin the 2nd quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Rams with a football to get us going. And they've got it here with a 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll throw on 1st down with Lynch. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, you need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
2nd and 10, it's Lynch again. He'll let this thing go for Sanders. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. That brings up 3rd down. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their route, and they're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, ball's out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clear.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks.
And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Jimmy Graham, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Rams are in for 6. The tight end can kind of be that diamond in the rough secret weapon that you have, and right there they show you why.
And it's becoming less of a secret, isn't it, partner? Every game that we do nowadays, the tight end is a featured receiver, not just a blocker, as in the days of old.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes the score 7-0. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try to move the football.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you're like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So that one will be accepted.
Still 1st down.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
So we've got encroachment, and that's a free 5 yards.
Too easy for the offense. A bit of impatience by the defense on that one.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And just a yard on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 4.
In my humble estimation, terrific work there defensively. Running backs trying to get wide, get to the sideline, and they beat him to the spot, forced him out of bounds, pretty close to the line of scrimmage.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be for that much space to rumble.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Dontari Poe in on the stop.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
From the red zone now, here's Trubisky on first down. This will be caught just inside the 10. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 10 more there and another first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now Trubisky. And this is incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Trey Burton, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. On the return, the All-Pro 2 years ago, Tyler Lockett. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's caught inside the 20. A huge play that time for the Rams. 57 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
And now Lynch. And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Jimmy Graham with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Rams are in for 6.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Now McManus to tack on the extra point. McManus's point after is good. And that makes the score 14-7. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the result for the Rams, a touchdown. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So the hard count gets them there, neutral zone infraction.
Yeah, the defense thought they had the timing down, but the quarterback hit him with a hard count, got him to jump.
On second down, Trubisky. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Trubisky now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Here's Trubisky. 20. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Burton. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A really good pickup of 28 yards. On first down, Trubisky. This will be caught just inside the 10. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. That first down completion only netted them 3. 2nd and 7. And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Throwing once more, it's Trubisky. That's complete right around the 8. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Trey Burton as the first half is winding down. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Final play of the half. It's Lynch. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete on the deep ball. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, where it was the visiting Saints who were able to walk away with the road victory. Jacoby Brissett, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Green Bay Packers. Patrick Mahomes leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. And then lastly, we wrap up the week with a good one on Monday Night Football between the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And here back onto the field comes Jimmy Graham. And what can they do to better account for him? Because they haven't accounted for him well so far as we see here on your screen.
They may have to draw up coverages they haven't run so far. They have to create something on the fly because he's beaten everything. And when you watch this game unfold, you keep thinking, yourself, is it 2 men, 3 men, maybe even a 4th guy may have to go and account for him. But right now, he's shredding the defense.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Now it's the backup, Rivers. Over the middle, that's caught by QT. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
A first down throw here for Rivers. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. Trubisky will throw. Miller on the catch over the middle. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Trubisky now off the bootleg. That's going to be caught. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Bears are in for 6. Quarterback loves the receivers, but sometimes his best friend is that tight end.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it? Because we always talk about the guys out wide and how acrobatic they are. But that tight end, great sight lines, easier throws, they become a bigger and bigger weapon as the NFL evolves.
This will be taken about the 12. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 26. A huge play that time for the Rams. 43 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
On 1st and 10, Rivers. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Now a 2nd down throw for Rivers. That is caught inside the 5. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now, City. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape. And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Kiki QT, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Rams have taken the lead here in the 4th. Such an art to dot the I, just get the feet in right there against the line before going out of bounds.
Such an incredibly graceful, athletic play, but also a lot of practice goes into it. They work on that to make sure that they learn how to train their feet to get down in bounds.
And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. This is blocked. The defense has it, but he doesn't get far. They're able to stop him. And after all that, the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
Oftentimes when you give up a touchdown, it's really a deflation for your entire unit. And the special teams crew, when they run out there, they still feel it. And maybe they don't go after it so much. Instead, they gave great effort there, blocked the extra point, and really gave them a lift after giving up the score.
Yeah, gave up the touchdown, lost the lead, but a nice job to get in there and block it. Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. So we come up here on 1st and 10. Here's Trubisky to throw. To the right side, complete to Miller. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
And he finds Howard complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all. Now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Looking to throw, Trubisky on first down. He leaves this one for Howard. And they'll get this down to the 10. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up first and goal.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
A gain of 9 there, sets up second and goal.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? What a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Something of a rare incompletion. Remember, Charles, last week under 50% throwing the football. That's what he was, but he has turned that around in this game.
Last week was what's commonly known as a fluke. For him to be under 50%, not normal, not the usual. But to be up over 80%, that's extra time in practice, and that's throwing with extra confidence as well.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Rams getting set to go now.
Let's go.
He's back to throw. He finds an opening past the 40. It's caught outright by Graham. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for first and 10. Back to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Trying to squeeze it in there at this stage of the game. You got to take some chances. Nice job to knock it away, though.
You're so right. Understanding where they are in the game, you got to take that opportunity and maybe thread the needle. Unable to get it done there.
Back to throw. The connection made. It's Graham. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. They'll look to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
It makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. In for the score. And the Rams have taken the lead here in the fourth.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, But to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
McManus now for the extra point. Extra point from McManus is good, and that'll make this a 6-point game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and the result for the Rams, a touchdown. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And this offense led by Mitchell Trubisky going to make their way back out there. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. This defense hasn't had the best showing in this game, but a critical knockdown there. If they can hang on, I guess the end will kind of justify the means.
Certainly, and just think of it this way. It may not be the quantity of the plays that they've had because those haven't been great, but they get a few more quality ones like that. That could finish things off for them.
Here we go. It's Trubisky on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing here, Rivers, and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Now Rivers. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the... And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown. Now McManus for the extra point. McManus's point after is good. And the lead now stands at 13. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events.
Now Trubisky lost the football, and the Rams have got it back.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
And the Rams now coming out on the field. Now, these guys hardly got a chance to catch their breath after the quick turnover, but I doubt they're complaining much.
Especially with the field position they get to start with. I wouldn't be complaining either. I'd want to get right back out there and get after them, because now you have an opportunity to make a big play. I'd say let's be aggressive and go after him.
Rivers here to throw. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important, too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense is downfield, and you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. And they take a knee. And they cannot do anything to stop the clock defensively. 3 straight wins to start the campaign now.
And this is where a team, privately, within the confines of their own room, their meeting rooms, the locker room, they start to think to themselves, we're pretty good. We should be a playoff team.
Charles, in this one, I think the storyline really, the 4th quarter, coming into it neck and neck, but they were able to separate, put their foot on the gas, and get the win.
And since you mentioned neck and neck, I must stay with a little bit of a horse racing theme. It was that close, and then really went into the gallop and finished it strong.
One more horse racing theme.
Go.
I am glad you posted today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So for the home team here, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And now it's off to the airport for a date with Customs and a long flight north to the U.S. Meanwhile, for Chicago, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.